It has been 2 years since we first saw DDR5 consumer kits, and Kingston is one of the brands out there that has been pushing with high-speed, high-capacity memories. And here we have today one of their fastest kits available that is under their Fury sub-branding, the Kingston Fury Renegade DDR5 memory. Right off the bat, these Fury Renegade DDR5 kits are geared towards enthusiasts, with a starting speed of 6,000 mega transfer per second up until 7,200 mega transfer per second. Actually, this is the current kit that I have with me today. But before we dive more into performance, let's take a quick look first on what to expect if ever you're getting one of these sticks for your setup. Based from the package itself, you'll immediately know the configuration that you are getting, and over at the back, we can see its RGB compatibility from major motherboard brands including MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, and Astra, and as well as their own Fury Control software. Inside the box, you'll get the DDR5 sticks as well as a small Fury sticker. Its heatsink comes in two color variant, one in black with silver accents, and the one I got here is the white and silver design. Personally, I like this one more as the silver accents complements better with the white color, giving off a metallic vibe to it. RGB is also one of its selling factor, but for those looking for a simpler design, a non-RGB version is also available. Height-wise, it is at 44mm, which is a little bit tall, so for those running tight setups, you should consider this before buying. As mentioned a while ago, this is a dual stick kit that operates with 3 XMP profiles available of up to 7,200 mega transfer per second on a 38-40-40-105 timing with an aggressive voltage of 1.45 volts, which is pretty much one of the fastest memories that is available in our local market. These memories were able to achieve its high speed thanks to its Hynix A die. Moving on towards today's benchmark, I had been tweaking this RAM for the past week now, and unfortunately I was not able to run on its full XMP speed, mainly due to my limited test bench. Right now, high-speed DDR5, including this one, are only guaranteed to 13th Gen Intel K series CPUs with its superior IMC. Though locked 13th Gen chips can still achieve better speed as compared to 12th Gen and current AM5 offerings. And the only 13th Gen chip that I have here is the Intel i5-13490F, which is a China-exclusive locked processor. Hence, I can only get this to work up until 6,800 mega transfer per second. But according to Asus QVL list, this specific model should be able to run on its native XMP profile when used with an unlocked 13th Gen CPU. Besides my i5 CPU, today's testing includes the ROG Strix B760-F motherboard, PowerColor Radeon RX 6800 XT, Cooler Master Hyper 622 Halo Black on a Windows 11 Pro system. Comparison data right now is limited as I only have an older 32GB Fury Beast kit that runs on 5,200 mega transfer per second. And finally, I copied the 6,000 mega transfer per second profile of the base model to simulate the cheapest variant. Starting off with IDA64, its cache and memory benchmark shows us a theoretical difference as we scale to higher speed, but it doesn't actually mean that all succeeding graphs will show a similar trend. Most CPU benchmarks, including Cinebench and the sample set for Blender, are pretty much CPU dependent only. Though we did see improved results, both from 7-zips compression and decompression, super pice calculation, and handbrakes transcoding tasks. Gaming, on the other hand, showed us that higher speed tends to produce more frames, especially on the 0.1% lows. And moving forward, we would definitely see more trends like this on future game titles. Esports titles such as Rainbow Six Siege can also benefit from this one by closing the 1% and 0.1% lows to the actual average FPS. Again, unfortunately, no overclocking was done as the IMC on my locked CPU pretty much hard caps both the speed and timing regardless on how much voltage I push. Moving on to temperatures, a lot of DDR5 kits right now have a temp sensor baked into it, so we can pretty much gauge how hot these RAMs get during operation. With that said, running a 10-minute OCCT memory AVX test yielded a warmer result at 63 degrees Celsius peak and 56 degrees Celsius average as compared to the Fury Beast peaking at 54 degrees and averaging at 49 degrees Celsius. You might think that temperature might be a little high, but it is still within the operating spec as the max tolerance is at 85 degrees Celsius. I also forgot to mention that I was easily able to integrate the RGB using Asus Armory Crate, so you can streamline your setup together with your other components. I tried using the Fury Control software, which is also decent, though it had weird behaviors initially when it was still synced with Armory Crate. But after a few resets, I was able to make it work, and within the app, you can set the LED brightness, adjust colors and effects to your liking. Kingston's implementation is finer than Asus one, but again, you need to use your motherboard's RGB software to fully sync all of your RGB. For its pricing, this specific kit that I have has a high asking price with a premium SRP of around 15,000 Philippine peso depending on the time that you'll be buying. And that is around 60% more expensive as compared to its slower 6,000 megatransfer per second variant. Though this is usually the trend to that specific niche segment wherein it targets those users who are trying to squeeze every bit of performance on their system. And if you're gonna ask me which model should you consider, I would say that you should go with the 6400 mega transfer per second model, as it covers pretty much the max speed you can get for 12 Gen, Lock 13 Gen, and Ryzen 7000 CPUs with a decent price to performance ratio. As for my final thoughts, visually, the Fury Renegade looks great, especially if you plan to match this with your other gaming-centric components, but personally, I prefer the non-RGB version to preserve the metallic looks and better cooler compatibility. At the same time, it is great that Kingston tries to cover all users from their more mainstream Fury Beast lineup to this top-of-the-line Fury Renegade kits targeted towards serious overclockers. And if there is one thing that they can improve on, maybe it's gonna be the pricing. But right now locally, Kingston is the only brand that offers high-speed DDR5 RAM, hence its premium positioning. And finally, I am hoping that in the coming months, we could see faster and cheaper DDR5 RAMs in the mainstream market. And I think that is all for today. If you think that this video is helpful, go leave a like. And once again, this is Brain of Junkyard Summit. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.